Hello all, my name is Krish Nayak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today in this particular video, we are going to discuss about the entire roadmap to become a blockchain developer in 2022. Now, this was one of the most requested video by everyone. Blockchain is getting popular from the past 2 years because of its application in metaverse, because of various cryptocurrencies used for different purposes. So in this particular video, what all things we are going to discuss? I'll just give you a small introduction about what is blockchain. The second point that we are going to discuss about some of the use cases of blockchain. The third point that we are basically going to discuss about is that what does a blockchain developer actually do? The fourth thing, the entire roadmap, where probably we'll focus on what kind of programming languages you use, what kind of development environment you use, what kind of IDE you basically use, what kind of testing environment we actually use in order to create your blockchain application. So all these things I will be discussing in this particular video. Please make sure that you watch this video till the end. You will probably get a very better understanding about the entire roadmap. So let's go ahead and first of all, let's discuss about what is blockchain. So blockchain is a list of blocks that are cryptographically linked in a peer-to-peer distributed network. Since it is a peer-to-peer network, anything that is recorded into this particular blocks, it cannot be changed, right? So that is an amazing property of blockchain. I've already created a playlist of blockchain where I've made a detailed video about how the working of the blockchain actually happens. You can definitely check out those videos. Now coming to the second most important point, what are the use cases of blockchain? Let me just tell you some of the amazing use cases, some of the applications that are basically used. So it is basically used in decentralized finance applications. Amazing use case, and right now many startups are actually working on it. The second use case is metaverse. So metaverse, it has a huge application with respect to the blockchain, where probably you are going to an augmented reality world. You are basically interacting with various people over there. Probably you want to buy a land, you want to buy buildings. Everything is basically possible with the help of blockchain. The third one is NFT. NFT has also become very popular, guys. You will be seeing that many people buying digital arts at a very costly price, thinking that yes, probably in the upcoming future this price may go up. So NFT is also one of the very amazing use cases. Blockchain will also be used in games, because since it is blockchain has a property of peer-to-peer distributed network. Basically a game is basically created in a separate planet when many people can actually participate and play in those kind of environment. So these are some of the use cases. Now coming to the third important thing, what does a blockchain developer do? Usually, if I consider a full stack blockchain developer, you have three main parts. One is the front end, one is the back end, right? And with respect to the backend, there is one very important thing that a blockchain developer will do is writing smart contracts. Now, first of all, let's go ahead and let's discuss about front end. And then I'll probably also give you a real world example, like how does a front end basically look, what happens in the backend, how the smart contract is basically written. Now, let me make you understand first of all what all technologies you may be using in front end. Obviously, with respect to creating a front end application, you require the knowledge of HTML, CSS, you require the knowledge of React JS, it can be mobile development, it can be different JavaScript frameworks, right? So all these things you basically use in order to create a front end application. A front end application is a place where a front end user will basically be interacting, the end user will be interacting with the application. Perfect. Now let's come to the backend part. Now, one of the most important thing with respect to a blockchain developer, understand blockchain developer will basically be doing two different kind of works. One is those blockchain developers that try to create the entire blockchain from scratch. So this kind of work will probably be coming to you. The second, which is pretty much famous right now and hell lot of requirements are there, is the blockchain application developer. Now this blockchain application developer will develop applications on the top of the blockchain network that is already present over there, right? And many people, right, with respect to when you're working probably in different use cases like metaverse, NFT, there you don't create blockchain from scratch. Instead, you create applications on top of the blockchain network that is already present. Okay, so as a blockchain application developer, you definitely need to have the understanding of the front end, of the back end, where you basically create the smart contracts. My focus of this particular video will be on blockchain application developer, because there are many job openings which will actually give you salaries more than 40 lakhs. right? This is pretty much amazing, right? So I will be probably discussing more about blockchain application developer and what all things you can actually do. Understand there will be a network. On top of that, you are trying to write smart contracts. Now, what exactly smart contracts? I'll also be discussing about that. Now, let's go towards the backend part. What all things we should basically focus on backend. First of all, in the backend, always understand a blockchain application developer writes smart contract. Now, what is this smart contract? Smart contract is just a kind of script that gets automatically executed when a successful condition is generated. Let me give you a very good example. Suppose there is an NFT, okay, non-fungible token. Now, suppose if I take an example of Jack Dorsey, first tweet that was bought by someone, okay. Now, when that person bought that particular tweet, then what happens? The entire amount that he had actually bidded went to Jack Dorsey. How did it go? You know, how did it basically go? It went through smart contract, because when a person is buying an NFT, automatically a script will run wherein the entire transaction amount will be transferred to Jack Dorsey. In the next stage, probably the person A will again sell that entire NFT to someone. Suppose person B buys that particular NFT. Then again what will happen? The entire amount will go to person A. Along with that, 10% royalty will go to Jack Dorsey. So this is how things work in the case of NFT. So for all these things to execute automatically, you basically need to write a smart contract. I'll also show you one of the good examples that I have in the real world scenario, which is called as Uniswap, where you can do the transaction or convert one cryptocurrency to the another cryptocurrency. So I'll give you an example of that also. Now, I hope you have got a basic idea about what exactly is smart contract. Let me move ahead and let me talk about what are programming languages you may be using in order to create this kind of smart contract. Now, guys, if you are probably writing smart contract, you write in different blockchain. Like if I take the example of Ethereum blockchain, you write your smart contracts in the programming language called as Solidity. If you use some other blockchain network, at that time you may use Rust, you may use C, you may also use Python programming language. So different programming languages are actually there with respect to different blockchain network. Right now, if you want to really start in an easy way, go with Solidity programming language, because Ethereum blockchain provides you amazing functionalities to write smart contract, and there you also have an amazing community support. So you got an idea about this, like which programming languages you can go ahead with. Now let me talk about a development environment. Now you see this, like whenever we try to implement a smart contract, we probably need to have an amazing development environment. So for this, we use a development environment which is called as Truffle Suite. So guys, the Truffle Suite actually helps you to provide an environment for the development purpose and also for the deployment purpose. Now suppose if you want to do the deployment in the Ethereum blockchain, understand that some amount of gas is required. This is basically the transaction fees for doing the deployment. Okay, now suppose if you want to prevent that, because obviously it requires money for that, you want to do the deployment and test it for the first purpose. So for that, Ethereum blockchain also provides you some kind of network, which is like Ethereum mainnet, and many more are actually there, which will actually provide you some fake ethers. Obviously those ethers will not have any value, so you can test it by deploying it probably and see that whether your smart contract is working fine or not. Now, in order to test this entire smart contract in a network of people who are connected in the blockchain, that will also not be possible directly, because in this we will not be able to directly upload it in the Ethereum blockchain. So what we do is that there is a tool that is provided which is called as Ganesh. So Ganesh, what it does is that it creates a network of 100 fake users where probably you can deploy the smart contracts and you can basically execute and test the entire environment. So this is the main tool that is involved in the backend developer. For the front end, you basically have HTML, CSS, you have the entire mobile web development or probably the normal web development, whatever programming languages are required, different JavaScript frameworks are required. In the back end, for creating the smart contracts, you basically use programming languages like Solidity, development environment like Truffle, and testing environment like Ganesh, right? Now coming to the most important thing, how do we make sure that this front end interacts with the back end for this, we have an amazing package which is called as Web3.js. Now, this Web3.js will probably help you to interact from the front end to the Ethereum blockchain network. You also have different libraries and framework for this, like Ether.js, Web.js, and all. Even in Python programming language, you have this Web3 library or package which will actually help you to interact from the front end to the back end. So by this interaction, once it is possible, so you will definitely be able to see that the entire blockchain will basically get created. Now, once you learn all these things, at the end of the day, once you have all these things, all you have to probably do the deployment. You can probably take any domain in the crypto world and probably do the deployment, and basically it starts working in a blockchain network. So this is an overall idea about the entire roadmap. Let me recap again. The main thing is that in the front end, you have all the front end technologies, HTML, CSS, then you have technologies like different framework of JavaScript. Probably I can also include Flutter, mobile app development, anything that is basically required. In the back end, probably if you are going along with Ethereum blockchain, programming languages like Solidity. If you are going with other network, probably you can use Python, you can use Rust, C, C++, and many more. Then coming to the development environment, which is pretty much important, you have Troubleshoot. For the test environment, you have Ganache, and then for interacting with respect to the front end and the back end, you have Web3.js and Web3 packages. So this overall completes the entire blockchain application. Now let me just go ahead and show you some of the example, one very good real world example to just tell you that how does the front end look like. Back end obviously will not be able to see. Yes, you'll be able to see the smart contract, which I will also probably show it to you. So let's go ahead. So guys, let me go ahead and let me show you one of the very amazing application of blockchain, which is called as Uniswap protocol. Now this in here, you will basically be able to swap, earn, and build on the leading decentralized crypto trading protocol. That basically means if I launch this app, here you will be able to see that you will be able to swap from one cryptocurrency to the other, right? In this particular example, you can basically connect to your wallet and then convert any cryptocurrency that you want. Now, if I consider with respect to the front end, back end, and the smart contracts, all the entire example I'll be giving you over here. So this exactly is the front end. Now in this front end, you will be able to see that, okay, here you can actually select some of the options, you can give some values, you can give other values over here, right, and select the token that you basically want. So this is basically the front end part, right? So once you do this entire front end part, then what you have to do, once you connect to the wallet and you basically enter into this transaction, then what happens in the backend? A backend smart contract will run. Now the smart contract is basically responsible for converting this or making this real world transaction or converting from one cryptocurrency to the other. And with respect to the transaction, whatever transaction fees is basically there, then what will happen, those transaction fees will be given to that specific user or the person who are basically connected or providing this kind of cryptocurrencies over there. So that is the entire smart contract that is written in the backend network. If you want to really see one example, then go to this website, which is called as etherscan.io. With respect to any kind of transaction that are happening over here, everything is getting recorded here. If I take any of the latest transaction example, you will be able to see there is something called as contract. Now here, this is your entire smart contract and how it looks like, right? So this many smart contract is basically written to make sure that all the code is executed automatically. What kind of execution? Because once you change or swap the cryptocurrencies, then the transaction fees that is required is basically transferred to the user who is providing this other token with respect to this particular token that is getting changed. Now, this was one of the amazing application which you can really see in front of you, and you can also use this and use it for your purpose for changing the cryptocurrency. So guys, I hope you like this particular video. This was it from my side. I've given you the entire roadmap to become a blockchain developer in 2022. Yes, there is a lot of requirements since more and more applications are coming up like metaverse, NFT, gaming, and many more things. Please make sure that you see this entire roadmap again, go and visit all the tools, try to understand it. And yes, soon in One Neuron platform also we are coming up with this entire end-to-end blockchain roadmap, and I will also probably be uploading a lot of videos in my YouTube channel. So if you are new to this particular channel, please make sure that you subscribe the channel, and yes, I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day ahead. Thank you one and all. Bye bye.